The nanotechnology serves as a metaphor for modern fears. We create systems to protect ourselves, but those systems can turn against us. Brick, released in 2025, is one of those films that begins with a door that won't open and ends with questions that have no answers. While it might look like a standard escape room thriller at first glance, there's something else lurking beneath the surface, something harder than the bricks and deeper than the foundation the characters stand on. The film opens in Hamburg, where Tim and Olivia wake up in their apartment. Their relationship is broken. They've lost a pregnancy through miscarriage. Olivia has packed her bags. She's ready to leave. Tim retreats into his work, making video games, building worlds he can control. When Olivia opens the door to walk out, she finds a wall. Not a hallway, not a staircase, a wall made of black bricks, geometric and wrong. The wall is smooth. It hums. Metal objects stick to it, then shoot back like bullets. The entire building is wrapped. Every window, every door, every possible exit. Tim and Olivia are trapped. But they're not alone. The building has other residents. There's Marvin, a drug user, and his girlfriend, Anna. There's an old man, Oswald, with his granddaughter, Leah. These people were strangers before. Now, they're cellmates. Water stops running. Cell phones don't work. The power remains, but everything else is cut off. Tim calculates they have days before they die of thirst. The group breaks through walls between apartments, moving through the building like a maze. They search for answers. They search for escape. What they find instead is each other. The investigation becomes a study in human nature. Tim emerges as a leader, but leadership here means making choices no one wants to make. Olivia questions everything, including Tim. Marvin becomes paranoid. Anna tries to keep everyone calm. Oswald tries to protect his granddaughter. The old man remembers there's a bomb shelter in the basement, a tunnel that leads to the subway. They decide to dig down. As they break through the floors, they discover other trapped residents. In the basement apartment, they find Yuri, a conspiracy theorist, and learn about Anton, his dead roommate. Anton was a programmer who worked for Epsilon Nanodefense. Yuri claims Anton died of a heart attack. His pacemaker failed near the wall's magnetic field. But Yuri also believes the wall protects them from something worse outside: chemical weapons, biological attacks, the deep state. The group ignores Yuri's warnings and reaches the bomb shelter. But the tunnel is blocked too. The same black bricks. Marvin, high and desperate, shoots at the wall. The bullets hover in the magnetic field, then ricochet back. One strikes Oswald. He dies instantly. Leah breaks down. The group returns to Anton's apartment, shaken and one member fewer. They discover the building's superintendent, Friedman, dead in his apartment, his hands severed, blood everywhere. In his hidden surveillance room, they find he'd been spying on all the tenants through secret cameras. But the cameras also reveal something else. Footage of Anton working on his phone, creating light flashes against the wall. For a moment, the wall opens. Daylight floods in. Then Yuri appears on the camera and strangles Anton. The truth emerges piece by piece. Anton worked for Epsilon Nanodefense, the company that created the walls. This system was designed as a defense mechanism against attacks, atomic, biological, chemical. A fire at the company triggered the system across Hamburg. Anton believed it was a malfunction. Yuri believed it was real protection. When Anton tried to escape, Yuri killed him to keep everyone safe. Anton had created an app that used light sequences to interact with the wall's nanotechnology. Each brick was like a button. Press the right sequence, and the wall would soften into a portal. Press wrong, and the wall would pull you in, then solidify, cutting off whatever parts you had trapped inside. That's what happened to Friedman's hands. Tim, a programmer himself, recreates Anton's app from the remnants of his work. The group watches security footage, counting light flashes to determine the correct sequence. But before they can try, Yuri kills Leah and destroys Anton's remaining notes. The survivors restrain him, but the damage is done. Only Tim, Olivia, Martin, and Anna remain. They test the app. Anna volunteers to try the portal. She puts her hands through the softened wall, but something goes wrong. Her arms get stuck. The wall begins to solidify. Marvin, devastated by his girlfriend's death, shoots Yuri, though not fatally, then turns the gun on himself. Tim and Olivia are alone. In this moment of crisis, they finally talk about their miscarriage, about Tim's emotional withdrawal, about Olivia's feelings of abandonment. They reconcile, but they're still trapped. They study the footage again, calculating the exact sequence of light flashes Anton used. This time, they get it right. As they prepare to escape, Yuri attacks. The bullet missed his vital organs. He chases them to the basement, still believing escape means death. Tim fights him off, while Olivia activates the app at the bomb shelter door. The wall softens. She crawls through the tunnel. Tim follows, but Yuri grabs him. Olivia returns with a sledgehammer and kills Yuri. Together, they escape into the sunlight. But the victory is hollow. Outside, they discover the entire city of Hamburg is wrapped in the same black walls. Every building, every street, the defense system didn't malfunction in just their building. It consumed everything. A radio broadcast confirms what Anton suspected. The fire at Epsilon Nanodefense triggered a citywide emergency response. The walls were meant to protect Hamburg from attack. Instead, they turned it into a prison. Tim and Olivia steal a car and drive towards Paris. Olivia's original plan. Now Tim's choice too. They survived, but they're driving through a world that's been fundamentally changed. Brick is built like a traditional thriller. Mysterious walls, trapped people, mounting tension. But its structure masks a deeper story. At its heart, the film is not about technology gone wrong. It's about the walls we build around ourselves, and the ways tragedy isolates us from connection. The brick wall is real, but it's also a metaphor. Tim and Olivia have been trapped long before the bricks appeared. The film's title works on multiple levels. The wall is made of bricks. The building is made of bricks. But brick also means something solid, dependable, reliable, which is what Tim thought his relationship was. What he thought his life was. When that solidity crumbles, when the foundation cracks, everything else becomes unstable. The other residents represent different responses to crisis. Marvin escapes through drugs. Yuri escapes through conspiracy. Anna escapes through caretaking. Oswald escapes through protection. Tim escapes through control, making games, solving puzzles, fixing things that can be fixed. But some things can't be fixed. Some walls can't be torn down from the inside. The building's layout reflects the confusion of people under stress. Rooms feel different because fear changes perception. People die because panic makes everyone dangerous. The wall hums because technology has its own frequency, its own rhythm that drowns out human needs. The building isn't just a prison, it's a mistake that became a tomb. Yuri's paranoia drives conflict. He believes the wall protects them from something worse outside. He'd rather stay trapped than face unknown danger. His conspiracy theories aren't entirely wrong. There is a defense system. There is a company. There are secrets. But his response to truth is to embrace captivity. He becomes the jailer of his fellow prisoners. The nanotechnology serves as a metaphor for modern fears. We create systems to protect ourselves, but those systems can turn against us. We build walls to keep danger out, but we trap ourselves inside. The defense becomes the threat. Protection becomes prison. Safety becomes suffering. The film's ending is deliberately open. Tim and Olivia escape their building, but what have they escaped to? The wall is gone from their immediate area, but the entire city is wrapped in the same material. They're free to move, but they're still trapped in a larger prison. They drive towards Paris, but they're driving through a world that's been fundamentally changed. The miscarriage that drove them apart was real. Their grief was real. Their distance was real. The wall didn't create their problems, but it forced them to face those problems together. They couldn't run from each other when there was nowhere to run. The crisis stripped away their ability to avoid difficult conversations. Brick understands that sometimes disaster brings people together. Sometimes losing everything makes you realize what matters. Tim and Olivia's relationship was failing before the wall appeared. After the wall, they understand each other better. not because the wall fixed them, but because it removed their ability to hide from each other. As science fiction films go, Brick is quiet, technological, and unforgiving. Its mystery is solvable, but its questions are not. It's about what happens when the systems meant to protect us become the things that trap us. About how crisis, physical or emotional, reveals who we really are underneath the personas we construct. It's a film that doesn't rely on action or spectacle. Instead, it builds pressure slowly, brick by brick, until the real thriller isn't the wall closing in, it's the people cracking under strain. For anyone who has felt trapped by circumstances beyond their control, or wondered whether the systems around us are helping or hurting, or experienced how crisis can both destroy and strengthen relationships, Brick feels familiar, not because it's realistic, but because it reflects the shape of something that doesn't show on the surface. So while it may look like an escape story and sound like a science fiction film, Brick is something else entirely. It's a story about being trapped, not in a building, but in yourself, and about what you might discover there if you stop trying to find the exit. Hey everybody, I'm Corey. This is Thrill De Novo. I really hope you enjoyed that breakdown of the 2025 film Brick. If you haven't done so already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Please like, share, comment, all that stuff really helps me out, and I'll see you next time.